Welcome to Three Brothers Bakery.
We have cinnamon, apricot, raspberry, and chocolate.
And so this location is where we do our production, and we have our main store, which is behind me. We have an award-winning pecan pie that and it's also the location that has experienced 4 floods, a fire, a hurricane, and obviously now we're in the pandemic.
When you talk about NASDAQ, people don't think about insurance or catastrophe risk, but that's a product they offer.
In 2017, we had Hurricane Harvey. It rained for 4 or 5 days here. This is during Hurricane Harvey, and the water was like a river. I mean, there was a current inside the bakery, which is crazy. Financially, that was probably the hardest one to recover from, was not good.
My family started the bakery almost 200 years ago in a small town in Poland. They came here to the United States and opened up Three Brothers Bakery.
We built here in 1960, then came the bank, and it was a big bank. 1 flood you can live with, right? Maybe even 2, but you keep flooding, eventually you're gonna get torn down. These are the ovens. Can you imagine 4.5 feet of water in these ovens? So it's a big deal to lose all your equipment.
If we had flooding data before, my dad and his brothers built this place in 1960 in Houston, Texas, next to a bio, we wouldn't be in this position that we're in right now.
The bakery is located in a somewhat risky area.
If you go back about 8 years ago, essentially for the majority of the world, there was no flood hazard information available.
Look at that, look at Meyerland over here.
So the way that Fathom builds flood models is essentially a big data approach and get a better understanding of flood risk. The models that we produce are very difficult for us to provide insurance companies in particular to easily interact with our data without help from the NASDAQ platform.
One of the unique things about the NASDAQ Risk Modeling for Catastrophes platform is that we have 12 companies that build these models. For example, we have Fathom, so they focus on understanding how flood risk works. They are experts in building flood catastrophe models. That information enables the NASDAQ Risk Modeling for Catastrophes platform to help inform an insurance company's decision about what to do.
So these kinds of models are making things like insurers using NASDAQ's platform able to provide insurance at competitive rates.
Every location we've added since, that flooding question has always been one we ask the insurance companies out of the chute.
We take the knowledge that's embedded in these catastrophe models and we get it through our NASDAQ platform, so insurers would be able to provide the right guidance to Janice and people like her, project forward the risk and focus in on what the risk could look like in 10 years' time, 20, 30 years' time. And actually use that to advise the policyholder where they buy their house or where they buy the next commercial property.
NASDAQ is showing us that there's a lot of data out there that you can use to not make the mistakes that we've made and my dad and his brothers have made.
Now we have this predictive flood modeling that we can go to and find out if it's gonna flood there or not. And if it's not, then guess what? We get to sleep easier. We get to go on a vacation. We get to grow.